Hi, everybody. Wasn't that song fitting? Oh my gosh. I ran across a Spaz cardigan, Spazz cardigan, like a cardigan sweater, from what, the 50s, 60s? Do they even wear them now? 70s? Anyway, that song is by Spaz Cardigan. It's called Lafayette. And I was like, oh my gosh, it sounds like the ticking of a heart and the little da 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 it sounded like when your heart might go out of whack. And I don't know, I just felt it was fitting and slightly upbeat. I hope you guys liked it. Anyway, yeah, I was not planning on going live. I just am not in the mood whatsoever to watch TV. I didn't even turn it on 1 second at the hospital. I was there all night, all day the next day, all night. And then I got to leave at 1 o'clock in a taxi the next day. I was just busy um, with my channel on here, really, while I was in the hospital. And that wasn't planned, of course. And I've always kind of wanted to be able to do a live outside of my home. I wish so bad I could, you know what I mean, carry even a GoPro around and film parts of beautiful Bellingham, by the bay. There's lots of boats and marinas and things like that. I get a little winded when I talk. I really know that this will not be a long live. In fact, I'll gauge myself and do at the very most either 20 minutes or half an hour. Because in all honesty, I don't really get winded, but I feel not out of breath, but my chest gets tired more quickly. I really appreciate everyone being here. Amanda, Elizabeth, Art Ghost Show, Kessie Thompson, Winnie the Pup, Glitters and Gold, RC. Thanks, you guys. Thank you so much. I'm not even going to strain my eyes to try to read everything that people write quite yet. I'm kind of I'm kind of bewildered at how weak I feel. I think that because, I keep talking about my stroke in the past, because when I got home, I nearly felt 100%. I had all the feeling back in my right side of my body. The palm of my hand was going in and out with feeling for those from Friday to Sunday that I was in the hospital 4 years ago. But my energy level was so good. And it was weird because the day I left, walking just down the hall, and then he had me go down steps. He had some belt thing around my waist so I wouldn't fall, and he had a hold of me. That was a little hard. But when I got home and the next day, I don't remember moving quite this slow through my halls of my apartment. Every little thing I do, I can't use my right arm or hand, or arm. So everything is with the left hand. But as I've said quite a few times now, my daughter, Shaylin, who's 21, she's so wonderful, you guys. I have just the best daughter. She's never been in trouble. She's never been in juvie. She doesn't go out there and, look for boys and smoke and drink. She's never done drugs. I'm not saying none of these things will happen in the future, but as far as like teenage years, I've been so blessed. She's so helpful with everything. Parker is bringing his own dishes, into the kitchen. I don't have the energy right now to just do quite as much. Um, um, and yeah, see, okay, you had a heart attack, Genevieve. Jeez, yeah. And Glitters and Gold, thank you. Thank you. You've been praying for me. And RC, hope you're doing better. Happy Easter from Winnie the Pup. Glad you're doing better from Kessie Thompson. Hearts and thumbs up from Arco Show. She's all the way in Italy, you guys. Her name's Sarah. Anyway, like I said, or I can't remember if I said it now, I don't necessarily feel tired. I feel weak. It's very weird. And I don't feel pain in my chest, but I feel pressure now and then, which is really kind of scary. I walk down to the garbage because he wants me to do a little bit of something every day. And, some exercise, the cardiologist. So I thought, well, then it should be okay to walk to the dumpsters with my daughter. So we have a neighbor that's disabled. And just starting about 3 months ago, she literally asked us if we could carry her garbage down for her. And we said yes. Why not help somebody that's in need? So yeah, she is a little girl that also is on the autism spectrum. This woman's fairly hard of hearing. She has an actual doorbell on her door, and she kind of limps, hobbles when she walks. So it's got to be hard to carry bags of garbage down the steps. So we do that. So I said, Shaylin, our neighbor's got a couple bags out. We don't like to, necessarily touch things, of other people's with the C disease back. I just feel strongly about it. So we put like a mitten thing on, and she carried that, and she was going to do it all. And I said, no, I'll grab the light little, those bubbly drinks. They're like carbonated water. They're really quite good. Blackberry and peach pineapple. The thing is, I thought there would be sodium in them, right? Salt? No. 0 sodium, 0 sugar, 0 everything. Right down the line. But they're a little tastier than the first sparkling waters that came out. Anyway, I carried the boxes down. Everything was fine. I walked slow, right? I didn't have a regular quick step, right? Like we do when we're trying to get stuff done. It was slow, like I don't know what kind of walk, not dragging my feet, but gosh darn close, it felt like. And I live up 3 flights of stairs. And since my stroke, it's been a little difficult. But when I moved here, what was it, 24 years ago, I can't even think. I'm 62, so that's 72, 32, or no, 42 minus 5 is 40. What is that, 38? The heck was I? Let's see, well, anyway, Parker was 5, and he's almost 30. He'll be 30 in December, so 33, 38. 38 years old, you guys, when I moved here. And I could run up those steps, and I am bragging right now, carrying boxes, just like a piece of cake, you know what I mean? So anyway, now I don't carry anything, even before my heart attack, and I'm, huffing and puffing, whatever. Well, I wasn't massively huffing and puffing because I go slow now and everything, but I had to stop after the 3rd set of steps in the middle of it and get my breath because I was having, again, not pain, but pressure right there in the middle where my heart had been feeling funny 2 days ago, hurting actually. So, and then it was beating fast, of course, and I didn't get freaked out, but it took about 8 seconds for it to slow down. And then I went up 3 more steps and was at the top. And I was like, gosh, Shaylin, I just couldn't even go the whole gamut without stopping. So what I'm seeing is that, and in myself and learning, and what I wanted to share with you guys is that, even though all my vessels are clear and there's no blockage and like damage, apparently with this TAKOTSUBO, or broken heart syndrome, the muscle was stretched or something like that. So I'm going to read what my paperwork says, and then I'm going to look up some other things. Because in one of the comments where people have been so sweet and kind, wishing me well wishes and sending me beautiful emojis and prayers and even prayer chains, literally like all the way from Oklahoma and people in different parts of the world, been praying for me. Australia, New Zealand, England, oh gosh, what am I trying to say? Anyway, there's one other place, and now I can't think of the country. But it's just so incredible, you guys. The love on the internet outweighs the negativity. And honestly, that's another reason I believe it's so addicting, especially to the creator. It's not about having an ego trip. It's just there's so many beautiful parts to it. Anyway, this is what it says. And I'm assuming my sound is good. I'm in my room so that there isn't all that glitching, and I'm on StreamYard. And Genevieve Kelly said, I had the same symptoms, the worst indigestion of my life, which I don't get. Then it hurt very bad in the center of my chest. Oh my gosh. Yeah, and it was right in the middle. And it was a long area even. You know what I mean? And it shows a picture. Broken heart syndrome, a normal heart, and it shows a picture of the heart. I don't know if I can show you or not. Maybe I'll do this. I'll put this black and white picture because I don't know. Oh, I can go back in settings and turn the camera around, and I'll show you. I'm in my pajamas at home, and I've been in them all day, and before I'm seen again, I just want to be fixed up. And I thought I was going to the store tomorrow and this and that, but the neighbor has to work on Easter. And happy Easter to everybody tonight. For tomorrow, in case I forget to wish you that. But it shows the normal heart and a broken heart. And it's actually a swollen chamber of the heart. Oh my goodness, it's a swollen chamber of the heart, Genevieve, which I know you already know. So I'm going to read this, and then I'll go into my settings, turn the camera around, and show you guys this picture. Is my sound good? I'm assuming so. I think you were right. I wasn't tired as much as I was weak. Yeah. Okay. Is my sound good? Can someone maybe give me a thumbs up or say yes? I'm assuming it is because you guys would be telling me otherwise. Yeah. And then little things, Genevieve. I don't know if you went through this. I was bending over to pick up the cat bowl. I mean cat water bowl. And bending way over, it gave some pressure. It was weird to me. And then the weirdest thing, before I went live, I've been sipping on water and sipping on the bubbly stuff, not alcohol. It's called bubbly, Bubbly, and it's carbonated water. So I didn't want people to think, I was sipping on champagne or something like that. Boy, it's been years since I've had that. But I had to go to the bathroom. I had to pee. I'm being blunt. So I go in there. And then by the time I get to the toilet, I don't want to have an accident. So I fling myself pretty much onto the toilet. And I mean, I didn't bang my bottom down or anything, but the thing is, my chest hurt. I mean, not pain pressure again. And I was like, oh my gosh, the slightest thing I do quickly, right? Quick movements. And they have me on 2 more meds, Jardiance and some kind of something for diabetes. And the diabetic or diabetes medicine, maybe that's the Jardiance. Now I can't remember, or it might be the Metropol or whatever. It takes the salt, because I read the little leaflet thing today. It takes the sodium out of your kidneys, which is good, and it does something else, and now I can't remember. And then the other one is, yes. Oh, good, I sound clear. Oh. Anyway, yes. Now, see, some of these comments from you, Genevieve, are behind and below the share your referral link with a $sign. This new silly, ridiculous, I don't know, just update to the iPad or to the StreamYard. Okay, so this is what it says. Because I'd never heard it. Well, no, I did. I heard about it through my mom. She said apparently I had a broken heart syndrome. But the thing is, like, I thought she permanently had this enlarged half of her heart. Remember, I was saying that at the hospital, even cardiomyopathy. Well, guess what? Maybe people are like born with it and can get it permanently later on. No, my mother went through exactly what I went through this past June when she had her like small heart attack. And that's why she called it that, because she got to go home. Now, the reason I learned all this is I called my sister today and we talked for an hour. And she had a friend named Sarah that I don't think was in the chat, but saw me in the hospital. It was like, Ashley. And Ashley lives in, Missouri and stuff. Your sister's in the hospital. Well, I hadn't had a chance to call her yet. It was a couple hours late, and it's 1 a.m. I'm not going to call her at 3, but I called her the next morning, and that's what she told me. So I called and I updated her, and she said, Megan, that's what Mom had. And I said, oh my gosh. So my mom ended up having a heart attack, the kind, the broken heart syndrome, or the TAKOTSUBO. More than likely, you guys, I mean, we don't know, but it happened a few months after my sister got diagnosed with cancer. And it was serious. It was the fluid filled, the cancer cells all through the fluid, which Ashley said to me yesterday, I didn't even know there was that kind of cancer. I said, me neither. Anyway, and then all the chemo she was going through, and, her husband's cancer, colostomy bag, and everything she had to deal with. And then all the mental issues she knows that my son has that I deal with and he does. So yeah, to think that she had that in June, and then what are we looking at? December, January, February, March, April. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 months later, I have the same thing. Hi, Smiley Miley. Hi, Daniel Berry Sports. Yeah, you know me. I just don't know when I'm going live. I don't know anything. I'm just boom, spontaneous. And I thought I would share some of the information that I learned about this. Is it a disease? I mean, I don't think it's a disease. I guess it's a heart attack, a kind of heart attack, right? So, and apparently it's a swollen chamber of the heart, you guys, which is why you have pain. And Genevieve Kelly in chat had the same thing, apparently. So with broken heart syndrome, the heart has trouble pumping blood normally. A chamber of the heart swells up like a small balloon. Broken heart syndrome is also called TAKOTSUBO. TAKOTSUBO. Oh, it's not taco. It's pronounced TAKOTSUBO, TAKOTSUBO syndrome or stress cardiomyopathy. Broken heart syndrome is often triggered by great emotional stress, such as grief after losing a loved one. It can also be triggered by physical stress, such as having a serious health problem. Sometimes the cause is not known. I wonder when some of those people have heart attacks, like when they're shoveling snow, right? Like, I mean, it's not that hard, or it doesn't seem like it is. I've done it before, but if you do it too long, too much, and especially if you're older, you can die of a heart attack right there, but I don't know. Broken heart syndrome causes the same symptoms as a heart attack: sudden chest pain, shortness of breath, and fainting. So I really didn't have 2 days ago the shortness of breath. Like, I really didn't. I kind of feel like I'm going through that just a tad now, but I think it's mostly a little bit of anxiety and knowing that, like, I seriously have to slow down. You know what I mean? And I am. And only engage with positive things, right? Other symptoms may include a pounding or fast heartbeat, nausea or vomiting. They kept asking me if I had vomited or had fainted or had nausea, even the EMTs when they came, and I was like, no, I just have this pressure that feels like it's literally 3 to 4 inches long, right in the middle of my chest. Oh, the Jardiance is for diabetes. Yes. Well, they put me on that. And the other one, Metrolol or whatever, I'm taking at night because it's going to make me tired. So I figured that's when I should take it because I'm already kind of tired or weak during the day. And what was the other thing now? I can't remember what I was going to say. But yeah, make sure I get plenty of rest. Hi, Sherry. Yeah, plenty of rest. It's only 10 to 10 here. So I'm not going to talk my ear off here. I'm actually going to stay on. Oh my gosh, you guys, I've been alive 26 minutes already, and I said I'd do half an hour at the most. So, well, let me read a little bit more in this paper. So, a heart attack is caused by a blockage in one or more of the coronary arteries. These arteries supply the heart muscle with blood. But broken heart syndrome isn't caused by blocked coronary arteries. And they were talking to me. I mean, they brought up the stents. They brought up the stents before they even knew I had a heart attack, in case it wasn't the gastric reflux or whatever that's called. So yeah, but thankfully I didn't have to have that. So you will likely take medicines for a short time to help your heart muscle recover. These may include medicines that make it easier for your heart to pump blood. Some people may need to take medicines long term. In most people, the heart starts pumping normally again within a few days or weeks. Okay, well then it's not even really beating normally or pumping normally, I suppose, if it's healing, right? And it's the day after getting home. So maybe in 2 more days I'll feel better, and even in a few more weeks. Hi, Joni. I had that heart condition after finding my husband deceased. Oh my gosh. I was on meds for 5 years. Oh, wow. But you didn't have to stay on them. And I can't imagine finding anyone passed away. Yeah, you guys, this is really prevalent because like I was going to finish saying and actually forgot. Somebody gave me a link or whatever, in blue, hashtag broken heart syndrome, in one of the comments after my lives. And I hit on it today. And of course, all kinds of things came up. And that's kind of what I'd really appreciate covering a little bit, because like I never really heard of this. I mean, it was kind of, the only way I've heard of it is I didn't even think it was like a real malady, for lack of a better word. I heard, older people that live together for many, many years and one passes, right? Then the significant other passes shortly after, and it's due to a broken heart. That's what I've heard. I haven't heard the word syndrome with it, and that it's an actual heart attack that kills them. I thought it was, the heart slows down, you get depressed, and you just kind of die. That's what I thought. Hi, Sammy Doe Activity. Yeah, I'm very lucky to be home. I'm so blessed. I feel kind of bad for saying this, but I didn't even know it was Good Friday. And somebody said, your Friday is a Good Friday. And I was like, wow, Yeah. So, let's see. Okay, so a few days or a few weeks, the heart starts pumping normally again. Oh no. Says for some people it can take several months to return to normal. Okay, that's kind of a bummer to hear right there. Gee. Okay, and then there's things like if you take a blood thinner, be sure to get instructions about how to take your medicine. Blood thinners can cause serious bleeding problems, which I wasn't on a blood thinner after my stroke or anything, so that's new to me. Apparently, I can do the slightest bump and be bruised pretty badly, and honestly, I bruise easily anyway, right? If your doctor recommends it, get more exercise. Walking's a good option for many. Bit by bit, increase the time you're active every day. Try for at least 30 minutes on most days of the week. Well, honestly, you guys, I walk up and down the hall and all around and bend over and make a bed and do this and do that. When I had the Fitbit on, a good 2 years ago, honestly, I bought it for myself. Every day by about 8 o'clock at night, I was up to 8,000 steps. And they want you to have 10,000, right? So I'm sure I easily did at least 1,000 more before I went to bed. So I was like, I told my doctor that, and he's like, I thought he'd be like, wow, that's pretty good. Instead, he said, this is my main primary doctor. He goes, well, gee, but are you getting exercise? I'm like, well, I feel like I am. Goodness gracious. Oh, you were having extra beats in your heart and a very low blood pressure. Oh, you're good now. Wonderful. Oh, okay. Each person is different. Healing time varies, PCT, says MS0426. Hi there. Hi, everybody. Yeah. So, and thank God I quit smoking. If you can't quit, cut back as much as you can. In all honesty, I always felt I had to have a smoke when I was drinking, when I was like out with friends or out by myself, or I don't know what it was. I guess it was that I felt I had to have like something in my fingers, right? Um, and because I was drinking, I probably smoked a good 7 to 8 to 9 cigarettes in 2 or 3 hours, which was a lot for me. Now, I didn't really smoke all the other times, but when I was in Okinawa and I would sit out on the deck and look over Japan and, was like sipping on an Orion beer. Well, my husband was at work and I was kind of bored. I do remember having those Marlboro lights, right? Those long white cigarettes. So to say I'd never smoked otherwise would be a lie. But it was not every single day. I didn't go to bars every day. I've never had a pack a day. But the thing is, I smoked. And like I said in my other live, he didn't care. Like he cared, but he really didn't. He stressed very much to me that the fact I used to smoke, even though I quit 14 years ago, is a partial reason I had this heart attack. And I'm just like, wow. But I stopped nearly 14 years ago. But you did smoke, right? He said. He was Japanese. I think it was my cardiologist that is my permanent one now, Dr. Yi, who I'll be seeing on May 9th. Hi, Leanie. Hi. It's so good to be home. Oh my gosh. I told Shaylin to leave my bedroom door open because, the kitties were meowing at the door, probably wondering where I am, right? And I just didn't want them to stress, especially the kittens and especially Tulip. And Tulip wasn't like that when she was younger. Now that she's a little older, they're all a year and a half, right? The 3 baby girl kittens, a year and a half old. She does her little meow now at the door. At times, I think it's Sunshine and it's Tulip. So anyway, she left the door open with a slipper. There's no little cords hanging around, thank God, or they chew them, right? But I had all my cords with me, and they slept in here, under my bed, on my bed. I have an extremely soft, it's called a Betalite, I think, a blanket. It's incredible, you guys. It's heavy, like a comforter, and as soft as any kind of piled up cotton you can imagine. It's incredible. So anyway, they were really comfortable. Shaylin was cleaning the litter boxes and making Parker his little meals, whether it's a pizza or whatever, because he's really not comfortable and probably never will be with an oven or working a stove ever since the kitchen fire we had here a good, I don't know, 8 years ago. It was a pretty darn bad kitchen fire. Anyway, she did wonderful with everything. My concern always make sure the door's locked 24/7. And at night, make sure the stick is in the door because we've had situations around here where people will crawl up second and third flights and try to get in. So yeah. Okay. So anyway, I wasn't going to go through really all of this, but eat a healthy diet. Like that hamburger helper. I mean, it's good, but boy, is it salty, you guys. Stuff like that, I don't buy anyway. But extra salty stuff, I gotta stay away from. Like when I make scrambled eggs, I don't use the dash that I used to have. I certainly used it at the hospital. I used the whole packet because it's not that salty, right? I was calling it DoorDash. It's Dash. But I'm going to buy a thing of that. I'm going to start buying, even though they say you can have some eggs and they're good for you after a stroke. I think I'm going to go back to buying eggs for the kids and making sure I have the what is it? Yolk-free, whatever eggs that are in a carton that you pour. I have been drinking since before my stroke, fat-free milk. Not 2%. They say 2% has almost as much fat in it as whole. Or no, they say 2% has almost as much fat in it as 1%. So the low fat compared to fat-free is what you really do want if you want to be on a heart healthy diet. Yeah. So, Yeah, and I mean, I'm at a pretty good weight, and I did lose about 1.5 pounds being there, which surprised me because I sure ate enough before I left. I had mashed potatoes and gravy and meatloaf and green beans, and you guys, and that was lunch yesterday. The green beans were so fresh. They even had a teeny crunch to them, the way I like them. They weren't kind of drippy, and they certainly weren't canned. They were fresh. And the applesauce had a little cinnamon in it. And I was pretty impressed by their food. Um, so, yeah, if you have symptoms of a heart attack, these may include chest pain or pressure or a strange feeling in the chest, sweating, shortness of breath, nausea, or vomiting, pain, pressure, or a strange feeling in the back, neck, jaw, or upper belly, or in one or both shoulders or arms, lightheadedness or sudden weakness, a fast or irregular heartbeat. I can honestly tell you I've had some lightheadedness, not faintness, but lightheadedness for many weeks lately. But I just thought it was due to, stress and doing too much, maybe moving too fast, whatever. Yeah, after you call 911, here it is. You either chew one adult strength, chew up, even if it tastes bad, one adult strength aspirin, or 2 to 4 low dose, which is the 81 milligrams, right, of aspirin. Wait for an ambulance. Do not try to drive yourself. So, like I said on my other live, he said, I want you to eat 4 aspirin. And he acted like he didn't say they have to be like the small baby. He just said, I want you to chew them up. And he said, they won't taste very good. Well, I said, I've got baby aspirin. And I had Shaylin run in the kitchen because I was starting to panic a little. And she pulled them out and she got the lid off, and the bottle hadn't even been opened yet. So I had to take, I don't know what I took, just any slightly sharp thing nearby, and popped that off and chewed up 4 baby aspirin. If you have new or worse symptoms, new or increased shortness of breath, new or worse swelling in your legs, ankles, or feet, sudden weight gain, such as more than 2 to 3 pounds in a day or 5 pounds in a week, your doctor may suggest a different range of weight gain. Feeling dizzy, lightheaded, or like you may faint, feeling so tired or weak that you cannot do your usual activities. That's not where I'm at, but I'm moving slowly. Yeah, and honestly, I felt much more weaker than this when I had that horrible influenza A. And instead of just calling it the flu right now, I call it A because that's worse than the B. The symptoms are more extreme and they last longer. And I'm telling you guys, it was horrible. So, and maybe what I'm reading here will help one person. I said this story before, but literally 5 days before I had my stroke, I was sitting on the couch and going through some YouTube videos, just anything that was popping up, I believe. And this lady was driving in her car and was filming herself. I don't know if she's a channel or what. She looked like she was pretty young, 45 or, whatever. And she was having a stroke. She was talking about it. She was looking in her rear view mirror. There was a camera on her. And she was like, oh my gosh, my face is drooping. I think I'm having a stroke. This is 5 days before mine. And I mean, I didn't have those symptoms, just the numbness on the top of my right wrist. But I really believe that was sort of like some kind of intervention a little bit, or God not preparing me, but I mean, it just can't be a coincidence, can it? Uh, okay, so, not sleeping well, shortness of breath wakes you at night. You need extra pillows to prop yourself up to breathe easier. Yeah. Last night when I slept, I'd sleep like 2 hours and then wake up. 1 hour and then wake up. Another hour and wake up. Another maybe three, and that's about it. And I almost think it's from being in the hospital, right? My, what is it? My equilibrium, or my whatever, my sleep REMs are off, or I don't know what I'm trying to say, but um, yeah, I might sleep better tonight. So anyway, I'm going to see Dr. Yee on May 9th. And then I believe it's 2 months from now, I'm supposed to do cardiac rehab, and I'm going to do it. They gave me paperwork called Northwest Regional, and I get free rides. People that are low income that need to get to doctor's appointments, right? You know, it's not just to go anywhere. I have to set up the ride 48 hours ahead of time. Isn't that wonderful, and isn't that nice? And then they'll be there to pick me up. So why not do it, right? I need to condition my heart. I really don't do enough exercise. People think I do because I'm always saying I ride my bike, but I didn't through the winter time. I didn't do that much walking through the winter time. You know what I mean? All right, so I said I wasn't gonna okay, I'm just gonna read this and then end my live, okay? Just in case it helps someone out there. And we all know this, but someone may not, right? High blood pressure. High blood pressure is the biggest risk factor for stroke. There are often no signs of high blood pressure, so get your blood pressure checked often. Optimal blood pressure is 120 over 80 or lower. Medication, diet, and exercise can reduce high blood pressure. And in fact, I'm supposed to take it. I don't know. I asked him, and I think, and I thought it would be on the paperwork, but it wasn't. I think it's morning and in the evening. But I know if I do it at least once a day, then that's good. So I better make sure that I do that, because I have my little Omron in here before I go to bed. See, this is good. I'm reading this stuff. It's reminding me of some things. High cholesterol. Cholesterol or plaque buildup in the arteries can block normal blood flow to the brain. Blocked blood flow can cause a stroke and an increased risk of heart disease. A blood test can tell you if your cholesterol is high. A low-fat diet and certain medications can lower cholesterol. Atherosclerosis, hardening of the arteries, happens when fatty deposits build up inside arteries. It can cause conditions such as carotid artery disease, coronary artery disease, and peripheral artery disease, at which may increase risk for stroke and heart disease. My grandparents had this, both of them on my dad's side anyway. On my mom's grandparents' side, her dad died from pancreatic cancer and the mother from older age, 90s, but something to do with the stomach. She died at the hospital. Okay, diabetes. People with diabetes are up to 4 times more likely to have a stroke. I didn't know that, you guys, till I read this earlier today. Then people who do not have diabetes. A healthy diet and regular exercise can reduce your risk of developing diabetes. Atrial fibrillation, AFib, increases your stroke risk by 5 times. Okay, my ex-husband, Parker's dad, has AFib, and many people do. And I don't mean to sound like a Debbie Downer, but that increases your stroke risk by 5, you guys. That's scary. So it's important to work with a doctor to control it. Then there's other health problems. There's conditions that raise the risk of stroke. These include sickle cell disease, blood clotting problems. Heart disease may also increase your risk for stroke. Examples include congestive heart failure, which, by the way, my neighbor has. I gave her a call yesterday. She's on my emergency calling thing. My mom was on it when I had my stroke. And so when they went over the emergency names, they brought up my mom. And I was like, no, she's passed now. You can take that name off. It was just weird, you guys. I'm still dealing with the reality that she isn't here, you know. Heart failure and dilated cardiomyopathy. If you have these conditions, ask your doctor for a plan to control them. Okay, and then of course, risk factors for a stroke. Not enough physical activity, being overweight, eat a healthy diet. No, tobacco use doubles the risk for a stroke. Stop smoking if you smoke. Limit exposure to secondhand smoke. All right. Being overweight increases your chances of developing high blood pressure, even heart problems, and diabetes. These conditions increase your risk of stroke. Your doctor can help you set a safe weight loss goal that is right for you. Okay, the physical activity. Exercise and physical activity can reduce a risk of stroke. See, this is why, with all the bike riding I did and all my AA meetings and to the store and tying bags on the handlebars, and having my backpack and walking, none of that kept me from having a stroke. And that's why they knew it was hereditary and genetic, mostly like from my father. So a recent study showed that people who exercise 5 or more times per week are less likely to have another stroke. Increase your physical activity with your doctor's guidance. That's why the very first question he asked me every 6 months when I get my blood drawn and stuff, how much exercise are you doing? And I'm like, not very much, but I'll try to do more, or, you know. And he doesn't scowl at me, of course. He's a great, really nice doctor, but I'm sure he's not pleased, right? Are you guys all still here? I don't see any added extra comments, and so I'm hoping everything's working okay on this. Can someone let me know if they're here? Because once the comments completely stopped going up for like a good solid 5 minutes or 10, and I found out that I was glitching. Oh, good. Oh, good, you guys. Thank you. Yeah, you don't have to write or type or whatever. Okay, so, well, I should probably read this. Alcohol use. Some studies say that drinking more than 2 drinks per day for men or more than 1 drink per day for women may increase stroke risk by 50%. Now, when I read that, it sounds like every day, right? It's got to be those drinks every day, per day. So men, what did I say, was more than 2? More than 2 for men. If you drink every day, and more than 1 drink per day. So if you have 2 drinks and you're a woman every day, your stroke risk is increased by 50%. That's really high. So all those women out there, I'm just going to say this, you guys, even if you're sipping on 2 glasses of wine every day, your stroke increase or your increase of stroke is 50%. I don't know. That's really high to me. And think of all the people right? That have a couple glasses of wine or 2 beers or 2 shots. Because alcohol's alcohol. I learned that in AA. It all equals the same. 2 beers is the same thing as 2 glasses of wine or 2 shots. It is. Okay, that's really quite the bummer though, because, it's not like it's saying 3 or 4 drinks. For women, it's 2, and for men, it's 3. It's too many. And of course, street drug use, the use of drugs such as meth and cocaine. I better be careful what I say on here. If you can use these, both of those increase your risk of stroke. If you use these drugs, stop. Talk to your doctor if you need help quitting. So I'm pretty sure I'm going to end with this. This is also a bummer, but it's important. And, knowledge is power. My mom always told me that. She just did. Veritas Trismegistus is here. Very good. That's good you've never used drugs. I don't know if you're aware, Veritas, but I got home yesterday from having a heart attack. A flippin' heart attack, but I don't have any damage. Well, I do to the muscle, apparently, or swelling, or whatever I said it was. The muscle needs to heal now. Yeah. Okay, so listen to this. Risk factors for stroke, what you can't control. A previous stroke, or a TIA, which is a transient ischemic attack. And that's what I had 4 years ago, you guys, in my thalamus. If you had had a stroke or a TIA before, your risk will be higher for another stroke. Okay, I knew that. I thought if I had any kind of heart attack, I'd be in my 70s or 80s. And in all honesty, I didn't think I was ever going to have one because I diligently take my meds. I didn't know about I knew your heart could enlarge because when my mom was on hospice, broken heart syndrome came up. And I was like, oh my, I'm going to really take care of myself, right? Well, she's going through this and I know the inevitable and how am I really going to feel when she's gone and this and that. So I was aware. But again, like I said 10 minutes back, I didn't really know what it was, right? Family history of stroke. Your chances of having a stroke are higher if other people in your family have had a stroke. Age. Okay. This is a bummer. The older you are, the more likely you are to have a stroke. The chance of having a stroke doubles every 10 years after age 55. So I'm 62. I'll be 63 in June. And in 2 more years at 65, my risk of a stroke will double. And then it'll double more than that, right? Did I say every 10 years? Yeah. And then when I'm 75, it'll double more. And 85 more. And that's a real bummer. So if I help one person that watches this, the night or the day before Easter, and some of you, it is Easter Day. For me, it's 10:20 p.m. in Washington State. If I can help one person, then that's a good thing, I think. One lady said in my comments, I can't remember her name, but it was sweet. She said, thank you for sharing all this information and knowledge. It's really, what did she say? Something like it's really opened up my eyes or something, or helped me with my situation or something. And I thought that was really nice. There's 2 more. Race or ethnicity. People who are non-Hispanic Black or Pacific Islander may be more likely to die from a stroke than a non-Hispanic white, Hispanics, American Indian, or Alaska Natives and Asians. Wow. And sex has something to do with this also. Women have a higher risk of stroke than men. When I read this yesterday, because I probably read it 4 years ago, but I probably skimmed it and just wanted to get home, or I probably forgot about it. I forgot about that, you guys. Apparently, stroke is a higher risk for women than men. Pregnancy and use of birth control may increase that risk. Gestational diabetes and preeclampsia during pregnancy pose special risks to women. Being past menopause also increases women's risk for stroke. Oh, Lord. Okay, so I might as well say this. Warning signs of a stroke. Use BFAST, the letters BEFAST, to remember warning signs of stroke. So they've changed it now. It used to be just FAST. Now the first one is B for balance, dizziness or loss of balance. E for eyes, changes in vision in one or both eyes. Face, ask the person to smile. Does one side of the face droop? Arms, ask the person to raise both arms. Does one arm drift downward? Speech, ask the person to repeat a simple phrase. Is their speech slurred or strange? And then time. If you observe any of these signs, call 911 immediately. Okay, that means any one of these signs, you guys. You don't wait for a couple of them and you don't, okay? So, the signs of a stroke are sudden numbness, tingling, weakness, or loss of movement in your face, arm, or leg, especially on only one side of your body. Sudden vision changes, sudden trouble speaking, sudden confusion or trouble understanding simple statements, sudden problems with walking or balance, a sudden severe headache that is different from past headaches, fainting, and a seizure. Call 911 if these symptoms go away, or if symptoms don't go away in a few minutes. All right, that's it, you guys. I'm kind of just slightly winded. When I talk too long, it's not a very good idea for me. I'm seeing anyway. So I might cover more about Takotsubo. I think I probably will. Maybe not tomorrow because it's Easter, right? It's just people don't want to hear that. Or maybe I will. And maybe people will watch the live another day other than Easter. But the Takotsubo is very interesting. It has to do literally with an octopus and a trap. And the Japanese guy that was in the recovery room with me, after my heart catheter, hi, the muffid divinum or something, explained to me what Takotsubo means. And it's something to do, like I said, with octopus, but he said they used to catch them in a jar because they would swim right into the jars. I just found it so interesting. I had a really incredible experience at the hospital. I found a nice card with this picture. Might be a painting, but it looks like a picture of the ocean with the sand and the pretty blue water and the sky. Nothing inside of it, but I'm going to literally write to the cardiology department and thank every single person that was there. Everybody. The people that cleaned the rooms, even, right? Why not? They keep the hospital going. So anyway, I'm really grateful. I'm happy. I'm lucky. I'm blessed. Yeah. And I know if the outcome was different, I'd be crying. I probably wouldn't be doing a live. I'm not that brave of a person like some people were saying in my comments. Oh, you handled it well, you're brave. I don't know. I don't know. I've been okay so far. I'm going to ask, please, you guys, after talking to my sister, she didn't have one little tumor behind her perineum. That was false. Her oncologist, who's a woman, said, oh no, Ashley, your cancer's back. You have quite a few tumors. And Ashley was stunned because she was cancer-free, right? Did her chemotherapy and all of that. I believe it was last October. She's a year younger than me. She lives in Missouri. And she told me, basically that she rests with her husband because he works nights. And then she gets up and it's all she can do to stand in the kitchen and make some food. Doing anything is exhausting. So cancer really does suck for people. And thank God I don't have that right now. But many are suffering with it and they all need our prayers. And my sister Ashley could use prayers. She's having fusions done. Her iron apparently was down to 3. I guess it's supposed to be 30 or something. So she's having an infusion of that the same day. She has to drive all the way to Columbia. Well, she doesn't. Her husband does. Yeah. And she takes a chemo pill every day. And they're figuring out, like, is she going to have surgery and have some of them removed or what on earth? So, but she's okay. She's not depressed. She's just dealing with it. And then listen to this. I found out that I asked her if her insurance is covering everything, and she said it was. And then it didn't link or it didn't something or other with, yeah, thank you, Genevieve. Thanks, you guys, for the prayer hands and all of that. For my sister. It didn't link or something with her new, I don't know what, meds, I don't know. So then things were starting to cost money. So she said she had to start all over with a new oncologist, a new pharmacy, I think maybe new meds, possibly a new hospital. Everything was new. At first, she was really quite upset, but then she was like, well, what are you going to do? Be mad or just get on it and get it going? And she did, and she is a wonderful oncologist. So, okay, so see, I've been going 1 hour and 6 minutes. I'm going to go now. Happy Easter to everyone tomorrow. And maybe I'll come on and talk more about TAKOTSUBO because it's quite interesting, and even broken heart syndrome, and read what the doctors say it is. If somebody can pop the, what is that called? Where, where you can read copyright, whatever thing. One of the mods can stick that in chat. I don't have it on me. That's probably a good idea because I read some information off of my doctor papers. Thank you so much, you guys. Oh my gosh. She doesn't even watch this. She admitted she's not really into YouTube. And I said, I understand that. I understand that. But if Sarah ever sees this, please tell her, Sarah, tell her I've got people from all over praying for my sweet sister. She's my only sister. I have a half-brother, Noah, who lives in Wisconsin, who I have met 3 times in my life, you guys. 3 times. And he's in his 30s now. And that's what I have. And both of my parents are passed, like many of us go through. So Easter is about Jesus rising, right? And it's a beautiful thing. So have a wonderful Easter. Be safe, and I say that because, you know, the little kids run around and get eggs. And don't let your kids eat too much candy, right? They might get tummy aches. I'm gonna, when I can get to the store, get a chocolate bunny for my kids. All right. I'll probably talk to you tomorrow. If not, I'll see you very soon. Thank you for every little comment, thought, prayer, well wish, and sentiment from every single one of you, in here in chat and also after my videos. It helps, and it makes everything just better and honestly more beautiful in my life. Thank you. I think I'll play possibly this song one more time because it was really kind of neat. Spaz Cardigan is the group, and the song is called Lafayette.